How to build a longboard. Today I'm going to show you how to build this nanoboard that I built a few weeks ago. First of all, you'll need two 10 by 30 inch long Baltic plywood plies. Now, you're going to want to apply some Gorilla Glue everywhere and then spread it evenly. I wasn't smart and I didn't check how much glue I had left, so in the process I ran out of glue. But what you want to do is apply glue on both sides. This will provide the rigidity of the board. Make sure to add a lot of glue because you don't want any delaminations in the future. It would be better to use a glue spreader, but I just used a piece of vinyl that I cut. Once you're done applying glue, you want to put the other ply on. Make sure that all the corners are flush with the other. Now what you want to do is get two high surfaces. I use chairs so that I can get some concave in it. I'm using some foam just to protect the chairs, but that is up to you. Now I'm using some clamps so that the glue can be firmly pressed. If you don't have clamps, you can make some on your own. There's a bunch of videos on how to make them. And if you do have some, well, buy some more because you can never run out of clamps. The more pressure you have, the better it is. And then in the middle, you want to add weights. But if you don't have weights, you can just use jugs of water like I did and some cans of paint. I put a lot, but you can always add more. Make sure that there's no glue excess. For me, there wasn't because I didn't apply enough glue. But if there is, use a wet piece of paper or anything, or like a rug, and just clean off the excess glue. After 24 hours, you want to take off the cans, the water, and the clamps, since the glue is dried. You want to put a template on and with a jigsaw cut around it. To put the template on, you can either use tape or adhesive, but I just use tape since it's simpler and it would be easier to take it off. If you miss a bit, it doesn't really matter because at the end you will sand it, so any imperfections is okay. Be sure to take your time while you're cutting. You shouldn't rush it. If you don't have a jigsaw, you can use a bandsaw or even a handsaw, but Would a handsaw maybe just make a longboard with less curves in it? I put the saw at a too low speed, so make sure to make it high, but lower the speed only in the corners. For a jigsaw, since I live in Canada, the cheapest one was about $40, but if you live in the US, you could get one for easily $20. Once you're done, you want to remove the template. Now, you want to sand evenly everywhere. The more you sand, the more professional the board will look. If you have an electric sander, use that. It will make the sides look a lot better. The sanding process will take a lot of time, so don't get frustrated, but if you really want it to look good, just sand it a lot. Now, use the trucks that you're going to use and trace out a template. I use skateboard trucks because it will be easier in the future to put them in. If you don't want to do a drop through, you can skip this part, but I just wanted the extra challenge. Now, using a drill bit of 1 inch, I'm making holes so that it's easier to cut in the future with a jigsaw. Using the drill bit, make sure to use glasses because the wood will fly everywhere, and you wouldn't want to have wood going in your eyes, wouldn't you? If you don't know how to use a drill or a jigsaw, just ask your parents to do it for you. It could be a family project. Using the jigsaw, cut out the shape that you desire. For me, it was a rectangle. Once you test it out that it fits, and if it doesn't, just take off a bit more. Once you're satisfied, you want to sand in the drop through and drill in holes. Also, I went and I painted my board silver, but you can always do any designs. After that, you can use some polyurethane and just spread it around the board on every single surface. This will waterproof the board. Or if you don't want the liquid, you can always get a spray. It's a lot easier to spread out. Make sure to apply everywhere a thin coat. If you don't apply polyurethane, the only downside of your board is that it won't resist against water. To spread out the polyurethane, you should use a brush, but I ran out, so I just used a cloth. Once the polyurethane is dried after 24 hours, the board should look like this. Now, you want to dismantle the trucks. I have a video linked down below showing you how to do this, step by step. And then once you